look at this. This is being recorded. Are we live? Probably we're live on YouTube, but I can't see us live. Trying to find us live on YouTube. Let me see if I can find this. Nope, there we are. We are live. Let's have a quick look here. Just setting up here. KJL, hello. RE32E, hi. How are you guys? What did you think? Let me know in the comments whilst we just quickly set everything up here. I'm using the new software. Never used this before, so it's a new thingy, new experience for us all here. So just putting that out there for people on Twitter. Let's quick look here. So where? Trying to see what we can do here. Hello, Delaney. How are you? I see people coming in. It's nice to catch up with people here. So we seem to be getting people in here. KJL seems very good. Yes, it does. I am like, it looks amazing. It does. We've already spoken about it in loads of detail. I've been kind of like impressed from the offset, if anything, but I saw enough, if anything. Like a minute is perfectly fine for me. Like I don't need to see 10, 15, 20 minutes worth of gameplay, if anything. But it's exactly what I think as well. It's and I know people have like kind of sat here with Strange Cast, people have like sat here with double exposure and stuff like we're talking about. I think this is like, honestly, this is more Life is Strange than Life is Strange, if anything, at the minute. Like the vibe is just there. You can see it's made by Don't Nod Montreal. You can see it's made by Michelle. You can see it's made by Luke. You can see it made by their entire development team. It's just, it looks insane. It just looks amazing. And the graphics look amazing as well on top of that. So I'm really quite impressed with that. So we're just waiting. We've got a couple of people in here, so it's nice to see people in here. Yeah, generally speaking, exactly what I wanted. I don't want anything more. I think it's still got mystique on it, intrigue. I'm very happy. And just for FYI as well, Adam's not here at the minute. He's basically away for the moment. He said he would try and get here, but I've kind of like said to him, like, do you think? And obviously when we do the Lost Records Journal, we'll have a big in-depth conversation about what we've seen from there. And that will obviously be a big episode for us. And if anything as well, if anyone who comes to this late as well, I will upload it like a video on demand version as well at a later date when I can edit it and get things sorted out here. So this is just my immediate reaction from what we've seen, and just to catch up with people live as well, just to talk about things. Let me know what you think of Swann Holloway's voice, by the way, as well. I think that's Olivia Lepore, the older version. Her voice is so spine tingling. When every time she talked, it was just giving me such like, I was honestly getting like goosebumps. I don't know what it was about her. It was just quite crazy to like hear her talk. She just seems so chilled about everything. Delaney, the 90s vibes are surreal. I'm so obsessed. Yeah, I feel old as well seeing that. It might be 90s, but I feel so old seeing it. I feel like, your childhood is like flashing before your eyes, and it's genuinely so cool just to see like how the fine details are nailed for it as well. And obviously they are at Gamescom at the minute. They got their booth set up as well, which when you see a bubblegum machine as well, you feel quite old as well. But yeah, I think it's really, really like on brand, if anything. And if anything as well, I think like one of the things you can take away from this is it doesn't feel like a a like, you know, kind of Life is Strange ripoff or anything else like that, or it's like a, you know, knockoff on that. It seems its own thing. It just feels like an evolution of Life is Strange that they've been working on previously. So I'm like pretty hyped for that. But yeah, generally speaking, I enjoyed the trailer from start to finish. I thought it was really well constructed. That trailer is really great. The audio as well. Whoever's doing the music for this, I think the kind of early indication people have been feeling that the Nora Kelly band is doing the composing for the music. I'm still kind of like waiting for a composer to kind of emerge from this, but like whoever's making the music is just hitting the vibe so much. It is quite crazy in that. So that's that. I'm just trying to see if I've got everyone in here as well. I'm just seeing if it's not slowed down or anything. Again, just this is the first time we're using the software live on this platform, and it's different from what I've used before. What else do you think, guys? Are you happy for the release date? Release date, actually, let's talk about that, if anything. Yeah, release date's perfect. I think it's really good for that as well. I think, let me just double check that as well. I'm going to pull it back up here. Where do we get the release date? It's a lot of images being teased here. Apologies. Trying to find it here. Trying to find this release date. I can't remember what I put the release date now. There it is. So the release date so far confirmed are 18th of February 2025, March 18th, 2025. So we've got a month apart, as they said. They've referred to them as Tape 1 and Tape 2, which is quite a nice touch as well. I was very close with that, by the way, guys. I was very, very close with that. I did say that this would potentially come out on the 14th of February, very similar to Banisher. So I think I might have actually beat Adam to that on the release date. I think I'm very close with that. But yeah, I'm very hyped with like the release dates. I think they're perfect for them as well, especially on Valentine's Day. I think that obviously the LGBT theme is pretty heavy with this game as it is. So I think like that's always a good thing to have with this. Let me just quickly retweet this onto my Twitter page for anyone who actually does want to listen and watch as well. A reminder as well, I will upload the VOD version as well onto YouTube as well, so people can catch up. There'll be a better version as well. I'm still trying to improve the internet and get it better here, so bear with me, please, whilst I sort that out. So yes, let me just quickly do this here. Let's have a quick look at that. KJL. Don't Nod always use great music for their scenes. They 100% do. They have never gone wrong with that. They've been very good with the music that they've used before in games. Jonathan Morelli was very good in Life is Strange 1 and 2. And yeah, it's very much on brand. Let me just see if I can screen share with you guys as well here, because I'll show you some of the reactions that we've got from here early doors. Should pull that up there. Yeah, so we're on here. Let's go quickly here because it'll pull up a couple of reactions from people on the old Twitter. So we got Julian Goyon, who is the sound designer. I'm going to translate this post quickly for you guys. And here is a new preview of our game with real gameplay sequences this time. Just listen up. Quite a nice hint there. So I think that's quite a nice touch there. I think there was one from Juliet in here. Yep, there's one from Juliet here, who's lead character artist at Don't Nod Montreal. These lovely, gorgeous characters you're seeing as for help part of her creation, gameplay footage, and we can discover more from our girls' personalities. Who's your favorite so far? Mine is still Nora. Nora is very, very cool. I think Kat is quickly becoming one of my favorites as well. I'm very much a fan of Kat. There's so much like vibe there. Nina, who worked on the scripts with Jean-Luc and Michel, and I think Desiree is the other person that's worked on them. But been working super hard on this game with Don't Nod, and I'm really proud of this team for this amazing trailer. Please enjoy. So very, very cool, if anything. And we got a lot of notification. I think Luke replied in one of these actually as well. Oh, there's Michelle. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, let me just quickly. Should we send him a penguin, guys? I think we should send him a penguin. Yeah, there we go. I think that was in reference to a picture that we put there of Swann Holloway's arm. If I can pull it up here. Yeah, adult Swann's arm, as we got there. First look that we got of her arm, if anything. So let me quickly just stop the screen share. We'll come back to that in a minute. I'm going to jump back over here. Right. Yeah, so generally speaking, looks really cool. Character-wise, Swann is very much on brand. We've spoken about Swann a lot in our conversations on Strangecast. Obviously, Olivia Lepore, we know, is playing Swann Holloway. I do wonder if Swann Holloway is played by a different person at a younger age, because the voices do seem to be a little bit different, and that would make sense as well. And again, I need to kind of confirm if Olivia Lepore is actually Swann Holloway's voice as well, because they are doing motion capture, but they've also done VO booth sessions. So I don't know if it doesn't seem full performance capture, but again, it's exciting to see that. See like what they're working on as well, and it seems like they're getting the vibe right, if anything. Swann's cool. KLJ, yeah, is it KGL? Okay, sorry, KGL. I like Swann. Yeah, Swann could be a very special protagonist emerging. I think like if this game hits the heights of success that it does in 2025, or potentially becomes a sleeper hit, we could see something quite extraordinary from Don't Nod Montreal. It could be very much like a Life is Strange one moment, because again, that game was never tipped for the greatness that it was. It became a big hit because of what happened. It was unbelievable to see that for them. So hopefully, that happens for them. Let me just quickly double check this as well. I need to quickly, whilst I'm here with you guys, if you have got any questions or anything, just let me know, and I'll happily discuss any points as well. I'm just trying to. I'm using my new software, and it's not as streamlined to connect to like YouTube. And it's kind of like done it in a very weird way, where I think the thumbnails haven't loaded through and stuff, and it's like, a bit different from that. So I need to try and make sure the thumbnail is right, if anything. No, it's not the thumbnail. Great. Let me quickly at least upload the thumbnail to give it a bit of flavor on here. Instead of having my look on here, there we go. So yeah, Cat is here we go. Delaney, could be wrong, but looks like the present timeline might be first person POV. Now that was an interesting one. There's also an interesting point there, Delaney, with the fact that only Autumn is in the diner with Swann, and obviously it seems to have alluded very early on in previews, trailers, everything else we've seen, that Swann and Autumn will be potentially an item, potentially a thing. So it feels like them two are going to have more of a centralized character roles, if anything. I do wonder if any of the other people come to the diners. Like, so obviously in the first part, it might just be Swann and Autumn, and then maybe later in the diner sequences, in like episode part 2, for example, you might have a Cat and Nora come in, for example. That would be interesting to see. But yeah, I do think it's going to be first person, because like they have already kind of said like the main sequences, like everything that happens is in the original time, is in the 1995 timeline. Like we are jumping ahead in the future because they're being reunited for whatever reason it is. And I think that's something that's kind of noticeable, if anything. I did notice that myself, but it's like it's all first person. So I think in itself as well, it adds kind of like, it makes you feel like you're present in the room as well. I think like that's like one of those rare opportunities where you can switch between third person camera, which is what we have with Swann during her as a young teenager, but then also as well you have a full-on like first person experience when you're older Swann. So it's kind of like almost mirror images, that kind of like that feeling of seeing yourself old, that you're seeing it through the perspective and lens of that person. So yeah, no, very interesting. That I hope it keeps it first person, if anything. I'd like to just have that kind of opportunity where you look around the diner, for example, or the place that they're at. I think it's the Blue Spruce, if anything. It does seem like that, but no confirmation on that yet anymore. But Matt Thornton, I'll admit, I'm not a big fan of first-person games, particularly FPS, as they are all the same, but I'm going to overlook this. I'm genuinely looking forward to this game. Yeah, I agree, Matt. I think, like, if anything, I think that's the thing. I think you won't get taken away too much from first-person experience, if anything. I think that those sequences will be, like, kind of intervals in between the full story. So when you're playing third-person, essentially, it's going to be like, you'll see... You'll play the game as it is. You'll play it with third person. You'll be able to absorb all these like incredible environments, as we saw from Velvet Cove in the actual trailer, if anything. But anything from that other part is just going to be like, I think, build the building blocks. So essentially, like all those choices that we saw in the actual trailer will start to kind of materialize in the first person experience, if anything. Amber Harris, hi to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. If you are here as well, please do hit the like button as well. I hate doing the YouTube thing, but it does help. Very small channel, helps give us a bit of visibility. So if you haven't, it would be very much appreciated. KJL, I'm very intrigued by the package. Yeah, see, that's the interesting part. Now we have a bit more depth with it, because obviously the intrigue starts with the whole from the Game Awards trailer that we saw, and then now it's kind of like system to a package that they've got here, which is kind of like giving you context, like, you know, it set the mystique up even more, and it was kind of like another added layer element, if anything. We'll go through that in a minute because I got screenshots, so we can kind of go through some of the trailer points as well and have a bit of discussion. Matt Thornton, we will not see what adult Swann looks like until the very end of the game. Oh, that's an interesting theory. That's a very interesting theory. Luke did respond to one of our tweets as well. If you have just joined us as well, saying that you know, with a little detective thing, because we posted Swann putting the glass down on the table, and there's obviously no visible image of Swann there. You could even potentially make a claim that you might not see her at all in adult form. That would be an interesting proposition, where it's almost like she comes across as is it Jack in BioShock in first person, where you don't see what the character looks like, and it's like intentionally done that. So you're basically, again, like they are very much like about projecting yourself onto said protagonist. It's like they've never kind of like, when you're Max, for example, in Life is Strange 1, everyone can relate to Max, even though she's a teenage girl, even though she has all these kind of little variables about her. So that's interesting in itself. Let me quickly see if I can pull the trailer up here. I've got the trailer. I'm going to try and turn the volume off, if anything. Yeah, so let me quickly go to screen share here, because I can keep using these features, and they are pretty helpful for us here. So let's go to the package. I'm going to pull it up here. Yeah, so we got a package here. Only for Bloom and Rage, remember 1995. So that's also one thing that was established in the trailer, by the way, as well, that the band is called Bloom and Rage, which is quite a nice reference, if anything. And then obviously it ties everything together. But remember 1995. You know, yeah, it's interesting to see that package, and I do wonder what's in there in itself as well. Just to kind of, oh, come on, look at these coasters. Like, why are you not using the coasters? And your drinks over here. Maybe they're for the other two girls when they turn up. But yeah, like I am intrigued by that package, if anything. It's got what's the film called now? I know what you did last summer vibes, if anything. I don't know why. It's not a horror game, but it does have like yeah, it's interesting, that part, if anything. I'm trying to get some. Oh, I love her, by the way. I love Kat. Her energy, her sassiness. She's like literally just emerged out of nothing and become such a cool character. This part was just uh, so good. The choices are cool as well. It's what I expect as well from again, Life is Strange creators. Very simple, very linear. I'm all for that as well. Like, linear and simple is not a bad thing, if anything. And it seems like you're going to be building these interactions, if anything. So yeah, I'm pretty cool with that. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let me just quickly close this, see if there's any more people talking in here, any more reactions. No, we don't have any more reactions. Yeah, generally speaking, everything I could have hoped for was seen in that trailer. I think we've seen enough from that. Obviously, the Don't Nod Montreal team is at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. I imagine they'll be speaking to the press. There'll be interviews. There'll be people who go hands on with this game as well. But all or nothing, I think what I've seen, I'm very happy with so far. And I can't really complain with anything. Just quickly double checking as well, see if Luke has actually tweeted anything else here. I'm scrolling down. No, he hasn't tweeted anything there. Has Michelle tweeted anything? I'll quickly double check here, see if there's any reactions from Michelle. You put, what will you film with your camcorder? That was one tweet you put. Interesting. We got here, we got Matt Thornton. Kat kind of has Max's talkiness in terms of attitude, but she also has Chloe's carefree attitude. Yeah, see, I think you might get one with all the characters. I think that they're going to start. I think we could easily start like adopting, like, you know, traits from each Life is Strange character onto the Lost Records characters. I think that they're going to start embodying certain personalities. But I agree with you as well. I think Kat has that nice kind of like balance, if anything, where she's going to like. I think you're going to pivot towards her because she'll have both Chloe and Max-esque personality traits, if anything, and she just seems to have that as well. She seems to be like one of those nice, if anything, one of the things I've noticed, because like we've got voices here, we've got loads of people talking in the trailers. Like, we've not really had that so far. We've had so far Swann Holloway's talked in one of the trailers, the Lo-Fi trailer. We had what's the other trailer? We had the Game Awards trailer when we had Autumn talking that. But now we've had like all the characters talk in different lines and different variations. I think she's got quite a nice personality. If anything, she just seems. I mean, Kat. If anything, Kat has got a really good personality. She's just quite chilled. She's like carefree, free spirited. If anything, all for that. All for that. And I think when you see the four girls work together, they just have like such a seamless synergy. It's like the writing is just so on point. Like it's just they've not missed in any way, shape, or form. Like every single time they've hit on the nail on the head here. And I'm all for that as well. So kudos to them for that. Let me just quickly put on screen share, see if there's anything else I can break into here. So I'm going to go back to screen share here. So let's quickly go back to the beginning of the trailer. Play it here. The shots are beautiful. The shots are so cool. Oh, they're so good at making games. The game looks beautiful as well, by the way. It's like it's so different from like Life is Strange 2 and Life is Strange 1. There's Swann's arm, as we said before, with putting the drink down as well. Rocking a mojito, I imagine, as well. Looks like a mojito. Obviously, we know Autumn here as well. It seems like maybe potentially you could have like the love interest could be potentially platonic. It could be actually they are a love interest all the way through, or you eventually, walk your separate paths, because we know that they've kind of met this summer and then again they separate their own ways. Got a bump back there, Swann. Oh yeah, it's so good. The vibe is so. I can't believe 1995 feels like a lifetime ago, if anything. Yeah, this game is going to be a vibe. Honestly, there's so many people sleeping on it. It's just going to emerge like a Life is Strange hit, I imagine. It's going to be like so big for them. I just like the fact that it's quite simple as well. I felt like the fact that we don't have characters who have powers at the minute, and it's kind of like it just feels like a fun adventure game, if anything. And I'm like all for that. I'm like, I just want linear experiences, enjoyable content. And yeah, you can't complain with that. Look at that blooming rage. Swann is so cool. Oh, we have a little effect here as well. See that twice as well there. With we go back to it there with the coloring effect. We had that twice. We had that very much early on in the trailer as well, just before the logo appeared from Don't Nod. And then obviously we have Autumn with the package there. And I do wonder what is in that package. Again, the circular part. I do wonder. And there's the effects. And there we go. And we got our release dates as well, which you can wish list as well. 18th February, 18th of March. So all good there, if anything. So let me quickly go through here as well. It's got Matt Thornton. When I go up to here now, Over or Under will get a physical edition. Better yet, a collector's edition / physical limited. I hope so. I don't know if it's going to happen at launch. It could be a Life is Strange 1 kind of thing where, or even like Jusant, for example. Jusant was released digitally only, and then now it's had like a physical release, a limited physical run release, and it's also had like a collector's edition as well. I imagine Lost Records is going to be more popular as well, because again, it's got that Life is Strange ethos. I hope so. I hope it's a vinyl. I hope it's a collector's edition, even a limited edition collector's edition, because again, this is Don't Nod's game. It's just Don't Nod published, so Don't Nod, like, it's kind of like they have to work within their realms. They're not working with Square Enix, for example. Probably for a better, they're not working with Square Enix in this game, but like they are working on their own games, so they're working within the realms of budget. I think so, Matt. I think that they'll have, I think you'll get like something there, like that'll fulfill it, because I really want a physical release, if anything. Delaney, kind of love how they're keeping mystery elements super ambiguous. Like we don't have any confirmation of the events that have happened. All we have are hints and vibes. I agree fully as well. I don't want anything more. Honestly, I hate watching trailers where the game is spoiled for me. I hate watching really like dumbed down storytelling where like you're basically told everything to kind of incentivize people to play games. That's like the kind of like world we live in at the minute, where it's like almost like just really, let's tell everyone everything, because at that point they might play it or not play it. The trailers are actual trailers as well. Like I believe that there's a fine art to telling a trailer. Like you watch some really bad trailers in the gaming industry, film, TV. Here, not a chance. That they are very well constructed. The mystique is, as you said, Delaney. I think like we are getting to the point when we play this game. I hope that we keep the mystique all the way through up to like obviously when the game comes out, we can play it, and you get to play it on the release date. It doesn't come out like 2 weeks early as some of the games and publishers are unfortunately like trying to cash grab, which I'm all for. Matt, we have adult Swann and Autumn. Could this mean that the other girls' fates could be determined? See, yes, that's the big thing. Again, the other two girls aren't there. So it feels like, I feel like the early trailers that we saw from the Game Awards, for example, where Swann and Autumn seem to be like an item, if anything, that kind of, for me, has put the suggestion forward where they are our two main girls, if anything. They're going to be the ones that we're going to really build the story off, if anything. And then your relationships probably with like Autumn, with Autumn, with Kat, with Nora will be kind of dictated through choices. You see some of the choices as well. You have, for example, you can say like, oh, you look good, Nora, you look good, Autumn. I feel like potentially those characters might have like a a bit of a risk assessment there where they could potentially not make it to the end of the game. Potentially, it was something I did ask Adam on the Lost Records Journal, like, will all four characters survive? It could potentially be something like that. It add a bit more consequence to the game as well. I think it kind of helps with overall storytelling. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by the fact that we only have two of the actors so far. Two of the characters as adults. But the other thing I will say as well, if anything, Matt, is like we've seen motion capture, for example, suits of the other actors, and there's four of them, for example, and they all play one of the girls, and they are adults themselves. So I imagine they are going to show adult versions of them. It would be interesting if, for me, if anything, that depending on the choices you make, a certain character joins you at the table. That would be cool. So it's like, obviously, if you haven't irked off a character to the point where they're not going to answer the call or something, they'll come and join you at the table and then kind of add a bit more weighted perspective on what you're talking about in the story. That would be quite interesting, if anything. Got Delaney here. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like, what if they could die in the boxes like the mementos, which could incriminate Swann and Autumn potentially? Yeah, hopefully it's not their head or anything. That's the main. Imagine it feels like their body part or something. They take a very dark turn, if anything, for a horror game, into a horror game or something. Yeah, I see. I think in the box that's an interesting one because like we've kind of like they've obviously alluded to meteor showers. It's like there's something that happens in the supernatural realm without becoming too overly like on top of things. And I think, yeah, maybe it's like a relic of like what they found in the hole, for example. Like if you go back to the first trailer that we saw from Lost Records Bloom Rage, Nora's the only character that doesn't look into the hole like fully all the way through. Like Nora looks into it, looks away, looks at all of the characters, and then looks back into the hole. That's like a little tell. So it feels like Nora's kind of like maybe not affected by it in the same way as the other girls, but maybe the box has a fragment of like a meteor or something that is kind of like linked to what's happened. That could potentially be something. Again, we have to find out, aren't we? Let's have a look here. KJL, kind of worried about Cat. I feel they tease it in the trailer a bit. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I hope so as well. The thing is though as well, like you have to remember as well, choice and consequence games, they are illusion of choices mainly. Like barring like even like the first Life is Strange, there's very few that have like a groundbreaking decision in the game because like the main decision, for example, in the first Life is Strange, sacrifice Bay or sacrifice Arcadia Bay, that is ultimately the end of the game. Because imagine if you were sacrificing Chloe early in the game, not barring the turning off the machine part, but like actually sacrificing her and writing her out the game, you basically start writing two stories because you have to write a story where Chloe doesn't exist, then you have to write one where Chloe does exist, and that is really difficult to do, especially with like the budget of a game, the scale of the game. Like I've always said this to Adam, and even on the podcast you guys listen to, like David Cage, when he wrote like Detroit Become Human, it's like thousands of words, it's like hundreds of pages of script because so many times a character can die, they come back, but it's just such a difficult kind of like when you're creating a branching dialogue of like characters and stories, it's really difficult. So I think I would like to think that all four characters survive, but I think potentially you could probably like peeve off Nora to the point where she doesn't come back. And it could be like that kind of like the indication is that depending on your relationship, some characters might not turn back up at the diner or some kind of variation of it. I'd rather not lose any of the girls at the minute. I think that potentially there could be mileage for them to go to even more games with these girls, but we'll have to wait and see. We've got Tasha here. We've got looks amazing. I want to play it now. Yep, I am as well. I'm very excited for it. Obviously, it comes out in 2025 now because of Double Exposure coming out in 2024, but very excited if anything. Matt Thornton, the game also gives me feelings of the movie Chronicle. They find something supernatural or even an alien in the woods, which is which is the catalyst for their story. And that's I've never actually watched that. No, I've never watched that. Like, I know that people threw Yellow Jackets as an inspiration. Michelle said that this game kind of like predates Yellow Jackets. It's like he's like, it's not a direct inspiration. It's like, you know, that came out a little bit later, and then people have also talked about that witch film. I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Croft, something like that? The one with Neff Campbell in it. I think Adam ran me through that on the podcast. Obviously, it chapter 2 is like the big one where I'm like, kind of like, actually this one really hits me home, if anything, and it does kind of give that vibe. It gives me very much a Stephen King film inspiration, book inspiration, if anything. Like this game, it really does hit on that. Have a look here. We got Callie Gibson. Callie, hello, how are you? I'm glad they aren't giving away too much of the story. I'm dying to play it. Yeah, I think we kind of like alluded to that in the conversation already. It's like, that's what's going to keep this game going, the mystique, the intrigue. I think this is gonna set up in the same way the first Life is Strange, where it's like you go into it and you just know that it's like, oh, there's a disappearance of Rachel Amber, there's this girl who's disappeared. Chloe Price is your friend, Max can rewind power, and it's kind of like, yeah, let's go from here. Like they did, I don't know if they actually, I can't remember actually if they mentioned Rachel Amber disappearing in the early stuff, if anything, but it's like they basically set up in a way where it's like you're going in there, you know, enjoy. And that was like, I remember when I played the first Life is Strange for the first time, that was like mind-blowing for me, because it's like, again, you play so many games now, so much stuff is commercialized, they give you half the plot before you get into it, and it's like, I can't really figure out where the plot's going to go at the minute, which is for me a green flag at the minute. Delaney, also the reference to the Vortex Club. That's super interesting to me. What if it's like an actual vortex or something? Could tie in with the meteor shower potentially. Could potentially, again, that's something you can't rule out as well. Like, you know, if there's two moons, guys, we're at trouble. We're in trouble. We know that something happens. I think that they will kind of like potentially go down like a butterfly effect scenario. Maybe something happens here, which, you know, is kind of like it goes down that. I think the meteor shower is going to be a big part of it. I think that's going to be like that for me feels like what's going to be in the box or something. It's going to be like a fragment of the meteor, and it's going to be something that has like impacted those girls or something, or caused some kind of choice and consequence on there. But yeah, it will be interesting though. It might be Swann's camera, you never know. It could actually be her camera, and that's the kind of like connection point of, you know, that takes us down the story of where we go from there. So yeah, I'm all intrigued so far. I'm gonna go back to screen share quickly as well, just to pull this up for you guys. And thank you for joining us as well. If you are joining us just now as well, please do drop a like on the video as well. It helps a very small channel because it gives us visibility, and we very rarely get any visibility, if anything. Quickly go for some of the choices here. Hey, there it is, the Vortex. You can't go wrong with the Vortex Club. That's a perfect reference for Life is Strange. Yeah, I think that I'm like happy with so far what I've seen. So, and do you guys wonder if there's going to be like a little thing that comes up? Because obviously there you got the heart that comes up. That seems to be like our new kind of like this action has consequences, which I'm kind of a little bit for, because I remember when Telltale kept doing it for too long, and it was like this character will remember that, and it kind of got really a bit wary for me after a little bit, and I'm kind of like, I don't want them just to keep doing like a thing in the top corner saying this is going to happen. If it just, there's more to games than that, they evolve, and for example they are evolving the storytelling here. So I think like this, for example, is what I mean, where Nora's relationship potentially could dictate whether she turns up in the diner later on when she's older. Because like here you kind of like, I think you start laying the foundations, I imagine, for like your relationship with Autumn potentially as a potential love interest. And it seems like with Nora as well, it feels like you're building at least a friendship in some way, shape, or form. But I think that potentially, from what I've seen so far, you could potentially irk Nora in the wrong way. It wouldn't surprise me, even though she has got a vibe here. Yeah, I like the pics as well. I need to spend a lot of time like dissecting this trailer. There's so much going on here as well. I think enough as well. I don't think there's like, you know, mind blowing here. But again, like here, like I think like when you pick that decision, they've done it intentionally, and it seems like a love interest heart pops up. That seems to be like an indicator for anything that is Autumn based as a relationship, if anything. There's Cat vibing again as well. She's very like on point there. Yeah, I'm all for this so far. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. And we're in the house as well, Ringy. Yeah, I do wonder what's the triggering point here, because we got this as well. Maybe this is the start of the meteor shower, potentially. That box is interesting. Got big 7 vibes, if anything. I'm gonna close that down now quickly. Got big 7 vibes there. Matt Thornton, perhaps a friendship relationship meter will be a gameplay mechanic. Yes, I'd like that. I would like it being hidden as well. I wouldn't wait. I think like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had that for various reasons, because obviously that was a Square Enix game, but like they hid the love interest kind of like mechanic thing in there, the relationship friendship meter, and you get revealed it towards the end of the game. Like once you replay it, you can like see that. But I think like they didn't really tell you until as the game progressed, because obviously there's a big sequence in there. I'm not going to spoil it because it's important for like Final Fantasy overall. So yeah, I would love to see something like that where it builds up a relationship. Because I'd like to see, like, for example, where you go back and play it multiple playthroughs. That, for example, Autumn is like pretty irked at you, for example, because like you haven't built a close relationship with her. And I'd even like potentially an option where it's just like Swann can be like just single, for example. I think like that's the good thing with like Life is Strange 1, for example. It's like Max, Warren, single, like you can kind of like really have a bit more variation with things. So I'm kind of all for that. Also Matt as well, I'm also getting Stand By Me vibes. It's so funny as well, Matt, because like when we did our Strange Cast episode, I think it was like a year ago, 2 years ago, me and Adam did it for like the Lost Records, like for like our predictions for Lost Records, what Don't Nod Montreal actually going to make. Genuinely, some of the stuff that we actually talked about in that was wild, because it's like, I think if you go back and listen to it, like we were close on certain things. Like it was quite scary. I think like I mentioned Stand By Me quite a few times. It was like, I actually think this is going to be like quite a Stand By Me-ish game where it's like, it's kind of like hearty reunion story where these characters kind of going off on a journey. They have this like once in a lifetime like trip that all these kind of weird things happen on, and then they go their separate ways. And then it's almost like, yeah. And then you like watch It Chapter 2 again. It's like all these characters like come together, they have this great time, and then they walk their separate ways. And you're like, hang on a minute, it's like this is crazy. This is all happening. So I'm all for that. Yeah, I think as well like what's it called? Michelle's like the Stephen King references are big for Michelle as well on like Life is Strange among many other things. So I think like you're gonna see that. You're gonna see a lot of those references. So let's have a quick look. I'm just trying to see if there's any more reactions here from anyone. Is any more developers that have tweeted anything here? If you've got any other questions, guys, let me know. We can talk about it whilst we're here. I imagine we'll probably do a live stream for Life is Strange later this week as well at Gamescom, because that is going to happen as well. So obviously we do want to talk about that as well. Quick look here. I'm trying to just pull things up here. I've got quite a few of the developers here, just trying to like look at see if there's anything else we haven't noticed here. No, I don't think so. We've got let me pull this up actually. Got a boy. He's been on our channel before as well. I'm quickly go on screen share here. Home X. Put you up here. There's Nicefield. Shout out to Nicefield. We love Nicefield. Alejandro, okay, worked on Life is Strange, Square Enix, lovely human being. I'm looking forward to so much. Congratulations to Luke and Michelle and the team. I'm so hyped. And then Michelle responded saying, "Thank you so much, Alex." Yeah, all hyped for that. Celia's there. Yeah, I think we've seen enough so far. I'm pretty thrilled with this. I'm looking forward to when we see the interviews and everything else in between and what we learn from those. I think that's going to be really interesting. Obviously, I've kind of like alluded to this earlier on, guys. If you have just joined us about some of the conversations, a lot of screenshots. We're posting a lot of screenshots. You should follow us on Twitter if you don't. Keep you up to date with pretty much everything. I'm very active on there, tweeting stuff. That's Katie. Let's end this here quickly. So we'll come back to the stream as well. Any more questions here? So we got Not the Milky Bar Kid. Hello. I'm your fan. I'm not going to call you out like Adam as well. Don't worry, Not Milky Bar Kid, but you're back here. The video capture mechanic looks fun. I wonder if we'll watch back the tapes we make. Yeah, see, that's cool as well. That would be interesting. Because like the camera so far, we know that it can capture the birds, which seems to be a collectible so far on Lost Records, and I'm all for that. Obviously, I think that's a cool little collectible. And I think like it would be interesting to see if you can watch them back and see what happens there. Like maybe we pick up on hidden details that we missed earlier in the game, and that kind of potentially helps us with the conversation, for example, in adult form. So that'll be something to definitely keep an eye on. But yeah, thank you for joining us, not the Milky Bar Kid as well. And we've got Ziad Zat, we've got Ziad Lazak, who said, and hello, thank you for joining us. I'm curious about the connection between the tapes and the forest fire. Could the tapes have hinted at something hidden in the forest? Perhaps once they've followed the clues, they got into trouble. Potentially, yeah. Like, because in itself, like all the stuff seems to happen in that like forest area, and then including that as well, they find the hole, for example. They might be running from the hole, for example, because something might have come out of the hole. And then they got locked into that barn, for example. Then they get like trapped in there. Something happens in terms of fire. Yeah, I think like those are the mysteries that are great about this game so far. And it'll be interesting, yeah, if the tapes. I think the tapes are a nice mechanic, if anything, where it's like they've already kind of like recorded large parts of the game, if anything, for you, like things that like obviously premeditate that we can't control, and then we start exploring those, because obviously I don't want to kind of go into this game knowing why the forest fires happen, for example. It'd be a bit pointless. So yeah, I hope that the if anything as well, even from the early interviews Michel did, it was kind of like, we know that the video camera is going to take a big role in this game. It's going to be like Max's camera. It's going to be like Sean's journal, if not more advanced, I think, if anything, because I don't know if our character is going to really have powers, if anything. It seems like it's not like a Life is Strange, oh, she has rewind powers, or oh, she has this. It seems completely different from that. So Matt as well, Nicefield does great work with Life is Strange animation. Oh, Nicefield's amazing. Nicefield's always lovely. Nicefield's been really nice to everything we do. I can't, and yeah, it has done incredible ones. I think the Chloe Price one where Chloe falls through the bed and it turns to butterflies is like incredible animation from Nicefield. We've got Creo Debunk. Welcome, thank you for joining us. Is it a Life is Strange? Like game? Yes. If you're not glued into this, let me kind of explain it to you. It's made by Don't Nod Montreal. It's made by the developers from the first Life is Strange, second Life is Strange, Michel Coe, who was the co-director on the first Life is Strange and the second Life is Strange. Has had like a massive resume in working on Life is Strange games. Luke Bagados, who's been the executive producer on Life is Strange 1 and 2. It's got key members, like I think we bought on Juliet before. Juliet's worked on Life is Strange before. A lot of people from Life is Strange ilk, and they're basically making their first game from the studio in Canada, Don't Nod Montreal, and it's Lost Records Bloom Rage. It is very much like Life is Strange. It's very much a spiritual successor, if anything. It comes across in that kind of way. So that's if anything, if you are a Life is Strange fan, easy. Let me put it this way: if you are a Life is Strange fan, you want to kind of keep your eyes on this game because it looks pretty insane, if anything, and it's going to be something that is going to be straight up a Life is Strange fans alley, if anything. Strange Owl, hello, Strange Owl. Damn, I'm late. You're not late. We're still here. Don't worry about that. We've still got conversations to be had here. If there's any other details you guys want to talk about as well, point them out on the trailer or let me know, and we'll kind of like run back through them because there are quite a few moments as well. Let me quickly pull this up as well whilst we're here. Again, pulling up the screen share features, might have to take advantage of them. And again, there'll be a video on demand version later on. And if you are joining us as well, again, one more time as well, please do drop a like. I hate doing the YouTube thing, but it helps. It's a very small channel. That is not what I meant to share. Never mind. Apologies, because I'm sharing our stream there. I'm pulling up the trailer. Where's the trailer? There it is. There it is. That picture, guys. Oh, icons of 2025. Early game of the year for me. I'm putting out that I've already put my limbs out there. I've already got bias on this game and the developers and the creators and everything else with it. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. And like that, those three, oh, they look like that there is Bloom and Rage. There they are. I'm going to listen to their music. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think they've really nailed the tone of this game. It's just hopefully like it cuts through in branding and people like really pick it up and play it. I think it's got like, mixtapes is having the same thing where it's like that has like Life is Strange vibes, will it like, have a lot of success with people. Like who knows, nothing is guaranteed in life, guys. Like I think even if you ask the developers, they would say like they're humble enough to be like, if it succeeds, then great. If it doesn't, that's another issue, if anything. But yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, it's all first person this as well. Like we talked about it before. I think it's gonna stay in first person. I don't think I think most of the game will be shot in this kind of way, if anything, in the future, where it's like you're sat at the table. I don't know if you'll go and get a drink, for example, or anything else in between. That did start at the beginning of the trailer, actually. I think this might be even the beginning of the game, if anything. Potentially. This shot, I think that could potentially be the opening of the game, where you sit down with Autumn. I think that could be like the starting point of the game, and we kick off the conversation, start it, and then obviously it throws you back to the earlier part. But yeah, that package though, that I love that effect. So we've not seen any of the older versions of the characters. There's a lot of arm movement. Look at that. What do you think of the choices? Are you happy with the choices as well? Let me know as well if you think that you're happy with just like these choices, like just simple choices, and it's like it's not overly blown away or anything like that. Again, that's another one as well. Saying record, I think that's an important part. I think you're going to be capturing these moments for important reference points in the game. I think the camera is just not, it's just not there for the novelty value of it. I think it's got key moments. Let me pull this one up. Is this Swann? Got Autumn's moment here. We've got record here. So we're recording this sequence, for example. So like that one actually, we are recording from start to finger. Did it trigger it? Ah, so there we go. That's actually another one. So yeah. Interesting. No, I'm intrigued by that. So we'll go here. Matt, maybe the recorded tapes will work like the pieces of evidence in the quarry. Yeah, maybe. I think you're gonna have an effect of it. I think they're gonna be like enough to move the story direction. I think it's gonna be quite clear. Like if you basically if you miss something, then it's going to affect a relationship with someone. I think that's ultimately what we're going to get with the story. I think like you kind of have to be quite zoned in. It's going to be like, let me put it this way. It's going to be like Kate Marsh, for example, in the second episode of Life is Strange. If you don't go into a room and start investigating, well, you see what happens at the end of the second episode if you don't remember certain details. Amber Harris, I can't wait to play this gameplay. I can't wait to play this gameplay trailer. Has been on repeat. Yeah, I can't wait as well. I need to sit down and like just watch loads of this, more and more of it. Strange Isle on stream, there is a bit more stuff. Yeah, I think like info and screenshots. Yeah, there's quite a few things on there as well. Ziad, great game of the year, one fans. I think it's going to be game of the year. I think it's going to be a big challenger for that as well. Obviously, I think the only thing you have to worry about is Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, which is going to probably take up the big publications. This is the frustrating thing with Lost Records, because it could have come out in this year and it was perfect. It was primed for like the holiday window, where basically nothing is really coming out. Like major hits aren't coming out because everything seems to be delayed to 2025. And the worst possible thing that could have happened, which is a new Life is Strange game, on top of that, double exposure of all Life is Strange games, has come out. And it's like, it's like, damn. So it's like that is a really like crazy unfortunate thing for them, if anything. But I think if anything, they are probably wise to put it in the beginning part of February and March as well, because they want to avoid a lot of the bigger games, if anything. Like they're again a small publisher and a developing team as well. Strange Isle, this trailer feels so fresh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just a vibe. It's just a different trailer. It's not got like corporate overlords hanging over it. It's just got the indie Sundance-esque vibe that what Life is Strange was great about. That was like what made Don't Nod so successful with that as well. So kudos to them. Delaney, the most anticipated game 25. Yeah, the same. I'm the exact same. I don't really buy many games that much anymore. I don't really play loads of games as much as well. I'd be quite forthcoming with that. I just play them where and when I can. And I'm really all for so far, like what I've seen with Lost Records. I'm happy to pay for like bigger editions as well. Hopefully, like, we see some pretty high-end editions that come out. I'm keen to see all those. Just quickly having a quick nosy through Twitter and seeing if there's anything else that's been picked up here. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else here. No, nothing else has been tweeted yet since here. Let me see if there's a Lost Records press release actually whilst I'm here. Just going to quickly type this away. Press, because we might get a bit of detail. They usually release a press release by this point. Go to IGN quickly, see if there's anything that's been said in here that we haven't seen. So yep, we know the game's coming out in 2 parts. We know Swann's there. Yeah, there's another part as well. We see dynamic dialogue system, which can change based on where you look and what you say. Actually, I'll put you on screen share, guys. It'll be easier for you guys to see. It adds to your visual experience as well as we've now started to take advantage of this software. So it's that part there. We see the dynamic dialogue system, which can change based on where you look and what you say. Players can choose to ignore and interrupt other characters, which did make conversations feel more real and choices more important than ever. Don't Nod said. Don't need. Oh, typo. Awful typo there. That's very Oxenfree as well. Guys, if you haven't played Oxenfree, play it. Adam made me a convert. It's very good. It does this. Oxenfree is dynamic dialogue. It makes the game feel so authentic. It's like you basically have options where it's like you can interrupt characters, you can go the entire game silent. It's just that adds a layer to the story, which I'm all for. That. Oh, actually, here we go. Oh, meanwhile, Don't Nod announced in partnership with Maximum Entertainment to bring Lost Records Bloom Rage to fit to the physical market for PS5. So we actually got a physical release. Hey, the physical release date for the physical version of Lost Records Bloom Rage on PS5 will be announced in due course, the developer said, which is quite cool. Oh, we got screenshots here. I didn't see these screenshots. Look at her outfit. Hey, look at her outfits. That's pretty cool. Gender. Hey, look at that. Some pretty extensive detail we've got in here. I'm glad that I actually looked into this IGN article now. So that's extra details there. We don't need that. Yeah, so we actually got that. So it seems like they must have got that from a press release, if anything. So yeah, we have actually got a PS5 release coming out for, which is good. Again, that makes sense as well. We saw it with Jusant as well, actually, recently. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm trying to see if there's any. Go to Games Radar quickly whilst we're here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Try quickly nosy through here, see if there's anything here. We also get a thing in dialogue. Yeah, we talked about the thingy. Can change based on where you look and what you say. Donald has put a press release. I need to find that actually. Players can choose to ignore and interrupt characters, which make conversations feel more real and interesting more than ever. Yeah, all for that. All for that. So yeah, we've got some good. We are eating good, guys. We are eating good going into 2025. So I'm gonna stop sharing that now. Yeah, I think there's some big details there. So let's quickly catch up the chat here as well. Korea, what are problems of two games? What are problems of two games are being released together? Do you mean like Lost? I think that's in reference to Double Exposure. It means in the sense that they are basically both narrative games and they're like pretty, I think like basically Life is Strange would have cannibalized Don't Nod's work on this game. Like it would have just eaten up all of its sales, which is like, not really helpful for them. Strange Owl, let's have a look here. The trailer confirms Cat is my favorite so far. Yeah, Cat is really like has just jumped massively on my scale, if anything. Again, as well, when are they going to announce the pricing and pre-orders? You think it's hard to say, to be honest. Maybe October time. Life Strange good. November, October. I think there's no rush at the minute because it's still got like quite a lot of marketing to do in between now and then. It's like, I think there's plenty of time to kind of like to take advantage of like pre-orders. I think hopefully they kind of like release more details in the coming weeks and months. Cause I do want to know how much it is as well, because like, games are quite high end if anything, which, I'm not really keen on like paying full price on certain games. If anything, they've been disappointing me a lot recently. KJL, I don't vibe with Autumn, but maybe that's just me or the trailer. Maybe she's a little bit more of a rougher character in terms of like she's got a bit more of a cold shoulder personality, unless like maybe you like if you become a love interest for her or she becomes your love interest, better yet, that you might start to warm up to her and she changes her personality. She might be one of those characters that her entire personality is based on the choices you make in the game, which is why you might not be vibing with her so far. Again, which is quite telling. Hagula 84, thank you for joining us. No Wolf Squad Hoodie, lol. Yeah. Again, I think we're limited to the amount of like Life is Strange references we get. I would love if they did something like that where it's like a wolf hoodie and it was like a butterfly hoodie or something, which kind of gave a little bit of a nod to Don't Nod onto Life is Strange. But yeah, let's see. Matt Thornton, I wonder if this will have DLC, be it a bonus episode, bonus outfit. I don't know if Don't Nod's really going to do stuff like that. Don't Nod has never really done stuff like that. No, it really hasn't done stuff like that. That's been like where Square Enix has like really rolled the ball on that with like wavelengths with on True Colors and then also other things as well. It's been like a lot more, aggressive with DLC bonus episodes. I think they might just stick with the kind of idea, the fact that the game's been greenlit for a franchise already, which is massive to start with. I think that's huge for them. So I think like that's probably revealing, if anything, so far. Strange Owl as well. I don't know if it's a reach, but I think the choice or the future part being first person is not casual. What if you change something about Swann with your choices? Potentially. We did talk about it earlier as well. Luke replied to one of our tweets where it was like a little detective thing because we said like Swann's outfits there. So it seems like I think Swann is intentionally being hidden as like what she looks like. It could be potentially a drastic change over it. So it could be something earlier in the game that we get choices for, which again could like change her design, if anything. So yeah, I think like potentially. I think there's a lot to kind of go off with it. But yeah, I'm hyped though. I'm trying to still find this. See if we can try and find these press releases whilst I'm here, we guys, because can't seem to find it annoyingly. I used to have access to my Games Press. I might have to try Games Press as well. See if we can find it on there. No, it's on there. Let me quick look on Games Press, see if we can find it on there. Used to get my press releases from here. What day are we on today? These are today. Try to find out. There it is. Found it. Yeah, we've got a press release here. So let's have a quick look here. We'll run through that quickly. So we got Don't Nod is proud to reveal the first gameplay. Actually, I'll put your screenshot, guys, because you can see the press release as well. Makes for a nice little change. So we're going to go to Games Press. Here's my Games Press. Still got access to it, thankfully. Don't Nod is proud to reveal the first gameplay trailer and official release dates for Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Don't Nod Montreal's eagerly awaited upcoming adventure game will launch on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5 on the 18th February 2025 for Tape 1 and March 18th, 2025 for Tape 2. I like that they're using the tape things. It's quite a nice little touch. The first look gameplay trailer offers a look into the gameplay of Lost Records Bloom and Rage, including navigation between the dual timelines of 1995 and 2022, using Swann's camcorder to film her summer and, of course, making dialogue choices in the game. We see the dialogue system, which promises another level of immersion. It can change based on where you look and what you say, and players can choose to ignore and interrupt other characters, which make conversations feel more real and choices more important, which, yeah, again, I'm all for. This is for the Lost Records stuff at Gamescom, which we have previously talked about, I think, and then also here it is. Don't Nod is also pleased to announce a partnership with Maximum Entertainment to bring Lost Records Bloom Rage to the physical market with PlayStation 5. The release date for the physical version of Lost Records on PS5 is due to be announced in due course. Yeah. So again, this is very much Jusant style, because we saw with Jusant getting a PS5. Obviously, they just confirmed it from the offset before the game's out. I imagine that they probably expect this game to sell well, so that's why they're going to do this as, again, one of their bigger hits, if anything. So yeah, that's that press release. I don't think there's anything else. Maximum Entertainment as well. It's a global entertainment company dedicated to crafting indie to AA video game experiences through original content and licensed partnerships. So yeah, pretty much a smaller end of like a running physical market line. But yeah, there's no reason for them to put it on this as well, because I think like if anything, to maximize sales, they might even have to put it on Games Pass down the line. It's like to put it onto Xbox with like physical releases, that might cost them a fortune. So I don't know if it's really worth it for them on that point, if anything. Let's go through some of these more, and then I think we're going to call it a wrap, guys. And then I think we'll obviously stay tuned for the Lost Records Journal, because then we'll have a big conversation on that. So Matt, we've got how about this? Each of the girls gets a bonus outfit based on past Life is Strange characters. Swann's has Alex's outfit, Kat has Max's, Autumn has Sean's, Nora has Chloe's. So see, you could do all that barring Alex, because Alex is created from Deck 9, and also as well it is Square Enix's property as well. And I don't know it's going to really make mention of Alex Chen in the game. Potentially Kate Marsh outfit, potentially, or something like that. Could be something I'm in the trailer at the 48-second mark. What's this now? You got me checking this out. Oh my. I'm gonna have a quick look at this. 46, 47, and 48. I can't. Looks a little bit bigger, doesn't it? Interesting. Maybe it's the meteor. Maybe she caught the meteor, or it hit her arm or something. That could be interesting. So we've got Ziad here. We've got I feel like we're in for a mature re-examination of the original Life is Strange. The flashbacks are ultimate, dreamy, nostalgic teenage Life is Strange experiences. The similarity is exciting. I agree with that. And the other portions is a non-romanticized and realistic unfolding of the events to make us make us question our nostalgia and memories of Life is Strange. Well, I like that. I think that's a very fitting way to kind of like look at things. So yeah, I think we've gone on for a while, so I'm gonna kind of like call it a day towards end here. So thank you for joining me, by the way, guys. And if you are again here as well, and you have been watching for a while and you haven't been able to like the video, please do. Again, it helps. Very small channel. I will make sure that this is a video on demand version at some point as well later on the line. It'll be a better quality as well if you do want to rewatch it and see everything in a much more clearer quality. Stay tuned to the channel as well, guys, because Strangecast will be out tomorrow as well. That has already been recorded. That's out tomorrow as well. You know, do stay tuned for that. It'll be on podcast service. It'll be on the YouTube channel as well. If you are new here and you find our channel, thank you for joining us. Drop us a like, drop us a share, comment, you know, subscribe. It helps support a very small channel. We have a very small YouTube page. But yeah, stay tuned. Me and Adam will be back with Lost Record Journal next week. Again, we moved the schedule, so Strangecast is out tomorrow because we've got a Gamescom episode. Sorry, we've got Gamescom coming out on Thursday with Life is Strange, so we decided to do Strangecast back to back, and then obviously the Lost Records Journal is out next week, which will be a big episode. It'll come out on next Wednesday, so that'll be a big conversation about everything we've seen and also probably all the stuff we've learned about Lost Records from Don't Nod Montreal at the event. So stay tuned, guys. Check out Strangecast on Wednesday. I probably will do a live stream as well on the post reaction of Gamescom, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably be about Life is Strange and what we see from the Xbox showcase. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Take care, guys. Appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time.